Coming to you from our Aerospark studios on a Tuesday evening, this is Primetime News. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Michael Madimba. Politics headline tonight's bulletin. The SWAPO party earlier today inducted new members into its central committee. Joshua Kaumbi, the party's 7th Congress election returning officer, presided over the swearing-in. Linia Dishena covered the event and filed this report.
When we take the oath that I shall execute my duties with honesty, loyalty, and dedication to the best of my ability. Many of the people have done that. They are sitting here, some of them suffered during the struggle, not today, but carried out their duties with loyalty until we are sitting today here. And we have you now as a new breed of SWAPO members. You shall not divulge. What's the meaning of that English word? You are not going to tell anybody else what has been discussed at the Politburo, Central Committee, officers of SWAPO, everywhere, to anybody else outside. If you have problems with SWAPO, come to SWAPO, please. You took the oath. Either directly or indirectly, you're not going to divulge it, to share it with other persons. So comrades, at the end of my preaching today, to tell you that you took this oath and to uphold and defend the SWAPO party. Uphold and defend the SWAPO party. Wherever SWAPO is attacked, wrong or right, you defend. Then you can come later on and complain. Apparently we did this wrong. But there you must defend. When your enemies, wrong or right, you said that. Yeah. So go and defend SWAPO.
Minister of Rural and Urban Development, Erastus Uthoni, has lashed out on local authorities for their continuous infightings, stressing that the political discord is to the detriment of the development and service delivery of communities. Uthoni stressed this during a stakeholders consultative workshop. Let's have a listen.
When we talk about nation, we talk Namibia. Politics comes, it will come later. Where you can shout, hey, you don't, you have not done anything, it's us, what. But if you start while you are busy implementing some of the activities, frankly speaking, you will not achieve it. And this is what I've observed. Fighting, like now. I think you have heard some local authorities, they are boycotting. They don't want to go and be sworn in. Yeah. Just imagine if you are not being sworn in as a councillor, what then a community expects? So they'll be there without a leadership.
Moving on, the city of Windhoek commemorated the belated 2022 World AIDS Day by localizing and dedicating the campaign to local support groups. Earlier today, the city of Windhoek invited about 150 people from various HIV support groups around the capital to receive food parcels and awareness messages under the global theme, Equality.
Currently, we are not on track to end AIDS by 2030. And the reason is the various forms of inequalities. Dangerous inequalities show how the gender inequalities and harmful gender norms are holding us back on ending the AIDS pandemic. But there is good news. By equalizing, we can end AIDS, and this is how we will. First, we must equalize for women and girls to reduce their HIV risk. The effects of gender inequalities on women's HIV risk are especially pronounced in sub-Saharan Africa, where every 2 minutes in 2021, every 2 minutes, an adolescent girl or young woman aged 15 to 24 acquired HIV infection. In that same year, 63% of the new HIV infections occurred in women.
Our next update emanates from neighboring South Africa. But first, in last night's bulletin, we erroneously referred to Paul Mashatile, who is the ANC Treasury General, as Vincent Magwenya, President Cyril Ramaphosa's spokesman. We sincerely apologize for this error. Staying in South Africa, where the ruling party on Monday warned it would not support a motion that would lead to a vote for removing President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is under fire over a burglary scandal.
The ANC Interim Secretary General, Paul Mashatile, told reporters after day-long talks among party leaders that should Parliament proceed, the ANC will not support that vote.
We will vote against it because, as you are aware, that that report will set in other processes in motion, like impeachment, and we are not supporting the process that will lead to the impeachment of the president.
The impeachment vote itself would need a 2/3 majority to succeed. He said the ANC, however, agreed that Ramaphosa must be held accountable by the party and that the investigations underway by the police and other organs should continue.
This is what you can expect when we return with the business segment. In tonight's primetime biz, we commence locally. The Namibia Revenue Agency, NAMRA, earlier today officially launched the Namibia Electronic Certificate of Origin. The document aims at consolidating the SADC free trade area. More from this report.
The implementation of the SADC Electronic Certificate of Origin will ensure that NAMRA meets its strategic objective to enhance trade facilitation and pursue innovation. Equally, adhering to the regional and international requirements under the SADC protocols on trade, the revised Kyoto Convention, and the World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, it's worth to note that the SADC Electronic Certificate of Origin comes with a number of benefits for the exporter or manufacturer, in that it allows for, among others, online registration of exporters or manufacturers, online submission of all required documents, online approval, equally rejection notification to exporters or manufacturers, time and cost effective, accessible from anywhere.
On to neighboring South Africa. Earlier today, official data showed South Africa's economy rebounded beyond pre-COVID levels in the third quarter of 2022 to reach its highest ever peak. More from this insert.
Gross domestic product expanded by 1.6% in the 3 months to September, following a 0.7% dip in the previous trimester, Stats SA said. The official statistics agency said in a statement the size of the economy now exceeds pre-pandemic levels, noting quarterly real GDP is now the highest it's ever been, exceeding the previous peak of $66 billion recorded in the fourth quarter of 2018. It said agriculture, finance, transport, and manufacturing were the main drivers, with demand benefiting from a rise in exports and government consumption. Africa's most industrialized economy was badly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, which amplified joblessness, poverty, and inequality. Economic growth was braked for about 2 years. Salima Shimwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
That's where we leave it with the top news for this evening. Let's have a look at what the weather has in store for us. But first, a quick look at the business and economics roundup. Welcome to Sport Planet. Tonight's segment is dominated by action from the 2022 Region 5 Games currently ongoing in Lilongwe, Malawi. Namibian coaches at the Games believe Namibia will perform well despite taking along a smaller number of athletes compared to the competitors. Let's listen in.
It's super important. I think it's also not easy. I think with the academies that we have in our country, I think we need to have a slightly better philosophy on how to develop our players. I think we are still very based on results and winning trophies, and I think all academies could help the national team a lot more if there's a solid philosophy in developing players and especially understanding technical approach in matches.
The spirit is very good. I'm actually one of those coaches that focused more on looking after the emotional sides of players always. So their team spirit is very good. They are very focused. I think they also know why they're here, and I think they want it as much as we as management want it as well.
Meanwhile, Namibian swimmers won their first medals for the country on Monday at the indoor aquatic swimming pool at Kamuzu Institute for Sports. Team Namibia coach Adrian Maritz was euphoric with his team's performance, saying the rough start from the competition did not discourage the swimmers.
So this was a rough start for a day. It's a competition at the Region 5 Malawi Games. At the warm-up pool already, what we managed to do is we managed to break off the starting blocks from the pool deck. So that had to postpone the competition up to 4 o'clock this afternoon, after already I had to postpone the competition for one day. But we felt it's an advantage to our Namibian swimmers because we are used to competing straight after each other, and this was really a good thing, and we managed to convince the swimmers that this was in the benefit to compete. So we postponed the games up to 4 o'clock, and when we participated, the first event, what we did is we got a 200 meter freestyle silver medal. We got a bronze medal for a 100 meter backstroke. Again, after we got a 200 meter fly, a bronze medal, and then straight towards the end of the event or the session, we had the 2 relays which we participated in. We got a silver medal in the one which was just a girls event, and then we had a mixed relay straight after, which was a medley event, which was then backstroke, butterfly, freestyle, or butterfly and freestyle, so all of the strokes together in one relay, and we managed to get a bronze medal there.
A standby for your sports roundup. We, the sports news, have come to the end of Tuesday's Primetime News edition. Much appreciated for watching. Do make a date with us tomorrow for the midweek edition. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the architects behind the scene, it's good night